Hey, how you doing? Justin back with you today for a look at the D minor chord. Now, I know that you all know the difference between a major chord and a minor chord is very often one note. In fact, it is definitely that case for these beginner open minor chords that we're learning. We've already had a look at A minor and E minor. Hope they're going splendidly. So today we're looking at D minor. Now, let's have a look at the chord first of all. Now, this is how I'm going to teach you to play it. It's using your little finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Now, the traditional fingering is using 1, 2 and 3. Most people will find getting the 3rd finger up near the fret very difficult, so they end up playing it back like that, and then you often get this dead note in the middle of your minor chord, which just isn't really a happening sound at all. Using your little finger is good for quite a few different reasons. One, it's fairly easy to get to compared to using having your 3rd finger like that far away from your 2nd finger, which most people, as I said, will probably struggle with. But it's also good to get a little bit of action for the little finger, so it can get used to the idea that it's going to have to press down strings, because we will need to use the little finger on the guitar as well. Not loads, but we'll have to use it at least a little bit. So that's the fingering that I'd recommend. If you look, there's a regular D chord. If you just look at the dots there. So we are just moving this note here on the thinner string back 1 fret. That you could play D like that, really, with the 1st finger slid up. That's not how I'd recommend that you play a D. This is, however, the way that legendary singer, songwriter and incredible acoustic guitar player James Taylor plays his D chords. It's not what I would recommend for you at all. There's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't choose that, but you know, it just goes to show that some pretty amazing musicians don't always play things the right, in inverted commas, way. Anyway, so we're going to be playing D minor like this, with the 1st finger on the 1st fret of the thinner string, 2nd finger in the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, so make sure those two are right nice close to the frets already, and then little finger is going to go down. Make sure you're using right on the tip of the little finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Now, like all D chords, we're not playing the thickest 2 strings, so we'd start with the open 4th string, then the 3rd string, the 2nd string, and then the 1st string. It's the sound of our D minor chord. So, common problems. If the open 4th string is not ringing out clearly, it's almost certainly the tip of the 2nd finger there that's just kind of pressing up and muting it, so just make sure that one's back away from it. This note here with the 2nd finger should be okay. If it's not, it's potentially little finger pressing up too high, so make sure little finger tip is not touching the 3rd string at all. The note with the little finger should be okay unless you're struggling with the strength element, like you're finding it really difficult to press down with the little finger, which is kind of a fair comment. If it's way back and you're getting the buzzy sound, that's your culprit right there. In that case, you may as well just be using your 3rd finger if you're happy to get the buzz sound. You really want to try and get that little finger right up close to the fret and right on the fingertip if you can. Most commonly, I guess, the note that people struggle with here is the thinner string with little finger leaning down just that little bit too far. It is just pushing the hand slightly forward so that the little finger comes more onto the tip. That's the trick. Just thinking here, the hand moving forward away from the neck. And there you go, and you should have it. For the chord perfect exercise, it really is just take your hand off, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, or all together if you're feeling a bit more confident later in the week. Then strum, make any corrections. And then give it a strum again. Some of it with a chord like this is finding a place where it's comfortable for you to do it as well, because you might find that like angling your fingers a bit more or a bit less makes it more or less comfortable. So try and, the thing that the way I'd imagine it for myself is I put my fingers on the spots and I try and relax my whole arm. So from my shoulder, I'm trying to think, pushing my shoulder down and wibbly wobbling my elbow around while I'm still keeping the fingers in the right spot. And if I can do that and then I gradually relax it, I think my fingers and my hand and my arm generally find the most comfortable position for me to play that chord in. I think that can be quite a helpful little hint for this chord and most other chords that you learn, is to try and get into this process of getting your fingers in the right spot. Particularly after you've done some chord perfect and you know all of the notes are ringing out nice and clear. At that point, that's when you can just do this, you know, wobble the elbow around. See if you can keep your fingers in the right place and really make your whole arm and elbow and hand and everything as relaxed as you possibly can. That's a really good step forward to playing your D minor chord perfectly.